good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Under Hood Show presented by Mel Hambelton Ford. My name is Phil Nightingale. Morning, Josh.
Good morning.
Beautiful day out there in the old Wichita area. How's it? So anyway, call-in show 316-462-3673. Anything ailing car, tires, brakes, batteries, whatever it might be. We're here to answer your questions and give you a great price package. And again, anything in the automobile world, anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, don't understand something, want to talk about anything at MH Ford Racing. The new Bronco that should be here any day. So Josh, as always, with each and every caller for just calling a show, you get this great price package and what's involved in that package each and every time.
So we're going to mail it out to you, but it's going to consist of the works, which is an oil change, a tire rotation. We use Motorcraft oil and filter products here at Mel Hambelton Ford. While we're performing that, we're also going to complete a multi-point inspection on your vehicle, checking over the brakes, tires, steering, suspension, all the safety-related components, just making sure that vehicle's ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving. You'll also receive yourself $10 to Mel's Diner, so you can get yourself something to eat and drink while you're here with us at the big corner. And then a BG products package, which is going to consist of a can of MOA, our motor oil additive for your engine oil, and then a can of CF5 for your fuel system. And forgot about, but complete nitrogen. So you get all the great benefits that nitrogen has to offer as well. Again, just getting that vehicle geared up and ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving.
All right, so let's get the phones ringing. 316-462-3673. That'll come right into our main desk here at the dealership. The girls will send Josh a text, and we'll get you patched into the show, and you get that great price package for just making the phone call. So anyway, Josh, our first Bronco should be here any day. The vehicle visibility that we call it, we track the cars, which right now is so terribly messed up because of all the cars that are sitting around waiting on these chips and stuff. It says it's supposed to be here today, but I don't think it's going to make it today. For some reason, it just doesn't seem like it.
Just doesn't feel like it.
Just doesn't feel like it's going to be here. But that's our first one, and the other two courtesy transportations are right behind it here pretty well. We've got our first edition sold unit that's coming in right behind it. And we got another, I believe it's a Badlands right behind that. So we're going to have 3 or 4 of them here pretty quick.
Very exciting.
I can't believe the day is finally coming. We're actually going to have a Bronco.
Yeah, very exciting.
Been a long time awaiting for that Bronco. So anyway, Josh, we've got an exciting Thursday coming up. USMTS. It's the biggest, baddest modified division in the country that travels all over the Midwest and up through Minnesota, down to Texas and Arkansas, all over. Coming to Wichita, and we're going to have a little open house for those guys. And
very cool.
Hope we get a bunch of those guys to show up, be here Thursday from 12 to 2. Hopefully we got plenty of places to park them, that's for sure, right, Josh?
Yeah.
So we'll get them parked here in a lot, and we're going to have Jordan Whitehead's going to be cooking for everybody, so we'll have lunch. Lisa's already dialing in all the prizes and everything else, too. So 12 to 2 Thursday. If you want to come out and check out all the rigs and check out all the drivers, take a tour of our facilities, get registered up from great prizes. And I've already seen some of the prizes. They're pretty good. I wish I could get in, but I can't. So fun and exciting time Thursday, 12 to 2. So don't miss it. Or like Lisa wrote in my script, don't be left in the dust.
There you go. And so they're racing, obviously, they'll
race at 81 Thursday. They'll race Humboldt Friday, and then Lucas Oil on Saturday. So a 3-day swing on that side of that coin. So we'll see how everybody does on that 3-day spin. I'm going to try to hit 81 and skip Humboldt and then go to Lucas. What I'm going to try to do. 3 days in a row, a little tough to keep the old store going and keep going too. So anyway,
got to recharge the batteries every once in a while, I think.
That's right. Morning, Jim Petty. How are you, buddy? And so anyway, anything ailing your car, let's get the phones ringing, 316-462-3673. Jump on Facebook Live or jump over on YouTube. Give us a like and a comment and share there. Be great, too. We got over a 500 finally, Josh, so that's fun and exciting, too. And so what else happened in the shop this week? Anything exciting there we can help learn about everything, Josh? Or
I thought today maybe we could talk about service intervals.
It's a good idea.
And whether that is, you talk about service intervals and just all the consumers as a general understanding, everybody's that they need an oil change.
Yep.
But through all the different vehicles that I see roll in and out of the service drive and moving them around and stuff like that, and I don't know why, but it's just natural instinct to look at the oil change sticker when you get into a vehicle. And it just surprises me sometimes. You get into a vehicle and you'll see, it'll be a couple 100 miles, couple thousand miles overdue for an oil change, and people just don't.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know why that is. But I'm sure there's something that I do that somebody else focuses on, and it's like, wow, how can you do that?
Yeah, I got the same kind of situation there. I got a couple more. Darren McKim, good morning. James Furman, good morning. Josh, I'm the same way. I will tell you that last night I went to loan out a van. Naturally, the first thing I do is look up in that windshield. I had to call Mr. Napton and tell him, hey, Stan, well, I'll get you a different van. No, this one will be just fine, but this one is overdue. So I'm the same way with it, Josh. And the other day I traded for a car that I was bidding. And I counted, there were 6 different stickers up in the corner of the windshield, all scattered around in there. I had to figure out which one was. I had to go start calculating,
getting the dates and the miles,
dates and see where it was. So at least that guy's maintaining his car.
Yeah.
But these service intervals, back in the day with my dad, again, it was a 3,000 miles or 3 months, and then we ran that for quite a while, and it was hard for me to switch to the 5,000. I mean, it was tough. I mean, I didn't get it, didn't think it was right. But now as we see it and everything else too, how much better the oils are and everything else too, how much hotter these cars are running to help burn off that condensation stuff that gets down in the oil pan and things. But, the cheap insurance that is to keep good, clean oil in your motor, not wearing out things and not tearing up the bearings and wearing the cylinder walls out and everything else too. It's just cheap insurance.
So the other thing is the oil is doing so much more now than it's ever done. As far as the lubrication of the components, I mean, we have direct injection in these vehicles, and so from that side of it to the turbos, I mean, there's so many vehicles now have turbos in them with the EcoBoost engine, and Ford GM and the other manufacturers are doing the same thing to get more performance or higher numbers out of a smaller engines to make them more fuel efficient and stuff like that. But with the cam phasers and the adjusters and the timing that they have in these motors, all that's controlled by oil. And so there's so many small, thin little passages, and it's important to have good, clean oil to those components. If you've got any type of debris or sludge or buildup in that oil in those small passages, it's just going to restrict and not going to be able to let it do its job. And then you're not going to be able to get the heat out of the engine either.
Yeah, and that's the thing is we all think the coolant is what's cooling our motors, but really it's the engine oil that's cooling our motors, and the coolant is actually cooling the oil from that part. The oil does more cooling than anything does in that engine. And you're right, Josh, those little small passages, it doesn't take much to carbon one up and slow down the amount of oil that's going through those. And you're right, all the turbos we're using these engines today to be more fuel efficient, to give us the power and everything we need, but again, to give us the fuel economy we need, which, it's just crazy on how much it takes to get that done. Anyway, good morning, Adam and Robert Kinney. Good morning. How are you, buddy? Anyway, so there's so much going on in that engine today, how much more technical these engines are than what they used to be. But again, the oils are better. I mean, I remember, like I said, when I started changing oil back in the day, it was a CC rated oil. I think we're all the way to what are we at now? SJ, I think.
SJ, I believe is.
So each one of those letters has increased and improved these oils over the years. So I get the oils are so much better, but it goes back, we used to go 200 miles and we were filling up fuel tanks. We're airing up tires. We're putting a quart of oil in our cars. We were topping off the battery. We were putting coolant in these things. And now we can go 5,000. Yeah, washer fluid. Now we can go 5,000 miles and not even think about touching the hood from that part. So it's really tough on that side of the coin too to watch these engines go 10,000 miles on an oil change. But I'm going to tell you, our manufacturers have did that to us because of what they put in these dang owner's manuals.
And the oil indicator lights or maintenance minder lights that they put in them for sure too. And again, from a manufacturer standpoint, I mean, that motor will go, 36,000 miles or 60,000 miles if you change the oil every 10,000 miles. But past that, once it's out of warranty and they're no longer responsible for it, I mean, we've seen engines back here all the time that have sludge build up on them that have 100,000 miles on them, and it's strictly just from lack of maintenance. A couple of oil changes, one way or the other, would have made all the difference in the world with them.
Yep, exactly. So when you look in your owner's manual, remember that is the minimum amount of service that you need to do to your cars. There's other things that go in there. All the manufacturer is worried about is getting you through that 3-year, 36,000 miles, and then if you get the powertrain coverage of the 5-year 50 or 60,000 miles, whatever that's all they're worried about. And after that, it's your baby, it's your car, and everything else too. So if you want to protect your investment, let our service advisors put a plan together for you that helps maintain your car, because everybody's driving habits are different. Everybody drives different. Everybody got a different vehicle. I mean, we can't maintain a EcoSport the same way we maintain a Super Duty. Can't happen. Even the same difference of an F-150 to a Super Duty. Can't happen. The same service intervals or anything's going to be there, depending on what you're doing with that truck, from that part. So let our service advisors help guide you to the right steps, to write everything in there to help, improve your fuel economy, keep your fuel economy, keep your horsepower, and maintain your improvement, and not lose the value of your car.
I mean, I don't know. Super Duties are you see them all the time. That they're really nice looking trucks. They ride a lot better than they ever did, and more people have trucks now that don't actually use them for trucks than ever before. From that side. And so that guy that is using that Super Duty for work and is pulling every day, he's going to maintain it completely different than that guy that literally just has it because he wants a truck, that's never hooked a trailer, never had anything in bed of it, and is just using it to drive around town.
Well, Josh, I sat down with all the owners and did the Bronco orders. And I'm going to tell you, 90% of the people just love the look of the Bronco. Yeah. They're not going to go out and do what we did in Austin and run it through the trails and climb the mountains and climb the sand dunes and all that kind of stuff with it here. They think it's just a cool truck, and it is very cool.
Yeah.
From that standpoint. So, but these maintenance intervals are very crucial. And like I said, just let our advisors guide you, get you a plan, get you a roadmap for that vehicle to maintain it, and it will last you a long, long time.
And then we talk about maintenance intervals, and everybody always goes initially to engine oil because that's kind of the most common, I guess, and everybody's understands that you got to change oil, but there's so many other fluids in the car, or so many other maintenance related items that need to be checked or taken care of. Mm-hmm. And again, it's no different. You have to maintain those items based upon how you drive the vehicle. And that's where that multi-point inspection, I put so much value on it. And I'll even go a step further with that as we're starting to dive into these hybrids now. We've talked a lot about that here this week as well. It's going to be no different. I mean, you are still are going to need somebody to take a look at that vehicle, on a routine basis, just to make sure that everything's okay. Yeah, there's no engine oil, but there's a lot of other components that are on that vehicle that are still wear related items, and having a good certified quality technician under that vehicle periodically just to make sure everything's okay and wearing okay and doing okay is vital. It's important.
Yep. Just the simple maintenance items of rotating those tires to get the most life out of the tires, even keeping the proper air pressure in those tires. Brakes, there's still brakes on those hybrids and the electric cars. The thing I learned about, I didn't realize, Josh, until several weeks ago, that these new cars, the electric's got a huge cooling system in it to cool the batteries, to keep them cool. So that's still a cooling system flush and stuff that's going to have to be taken care of. And next time we get one in, I got to get underneath one of those and look at it so I can physically understand more about it.
So one of the classes we went to, the VOTEC classes, when we were talking to the students, Kelly had removed the, I guess they call it the frunk, or the front trunk on it. And so we took all the covers off it and exposed the electric motors and everything like that. And the cooling system, I mean, there was hoses going everywhere. The coolant runs through the batteries and into the motors and stuff like that as well. But you think about it, I mean, when you're putting out that much voltage,
got to be some heat.
There's heat there, and they got to be able to dissipate that heat and get it out of there and keep those components at an operational temperature in which it's not going to have any long-term effect on them. So,
yeah, exactly. So a lot of changes coming in the automobile world, and I'm excited for it. Not sure how this electric thing is going to timeline, I guess, is what I'm going to say into that, is how quick we convert so many people from a combustible engine to a electric or even hybrids, how fast that will go.
I think, a lot of that's going to depend too on when I say economy, I guess I mean, fuel prices, gasoline prices, I think would have a big effect on it, and how much there is a push for that. And then also too, what I've been impressed with on the hybrid platform and now on into the fully electric side platform is that there's, I don't want to say a limited number of vehicles in the market, but it is smaller. But how durable they've been. You know, we've not had really any issues with any of the hybrid portions or the fully electric vehicles at all.
Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting time. I'm going to say the next 5 years of how much we change these cars, what we do, how the maintenance changes, how much we get of those vehicles built. You know, the Lightning truck that's coming. You know, we built a 800. Is that Mr. Whitehead on the phone?
Well. How we doing, boys?
Hold on here, just
hang on, Jordan. We got a little telephone.
got
I got to get that other phone back, Josh. Sorry, got a little phone technical going on here. We got phone call coming through, so we'll get him patched in here in just a
Jordan, I'll call you right back.
So
let me get him on here.
We'll get Jordan back on the phone there. We're using a different phone this time, and my fault on that deal, that part. But anyway, we'll get Jordan back on the phone here real quick too. But anyway, as you're getting Jordan back, I'll tell you what we're going to do in the next 5 years. Oh, I know I was getting ready to talk about when I started was the Lightning truck. We build about, of course, I don't know how many they're going to build this year. It's not near as many, but usually Ford builds around 800,000 F-150s a year. And they're coming out the first year, they said, with 80,000 of those Lightning trucks. So that's going to be interesting to see what that does and how many we get and everything else too. Jordan, what are you doing, buddy?
How you doing, guys?
Perfect. You?
I'm good. Old Prophet's getting a little scraggly there. He might consider a haircut.
Think he needs a haircut? How about you? Do you need one?
I get a haircut once a week religiously. That's how I look so sharp.
Look what?
That's how I look so sharp.
I'm not sure I can follow on that one.
Sharp as a tack.
Sharp.
Hey, are you ready to cook some food?
I can't wait. Are you guys ready for this deal? I'm going to meet the USMGS drivers. It's going to be awesome.
It is going to be fun. It's going to be a great time Thursday, 12 to 2. I got to find a chef to do some cooking for us, Josh, don't you think?
We'll come up with somebody.
I would just hit up Google.
Just Google
Jordan. So, anyways, you guys are talking about vehicle maintenance. And how, every maintenance program is different, which is obviously true because the way I use my vehicle is not, other trucks see like my truck at the gas station and like feel bad for it. Like my truck's like, he doesn't mean it when he does this to me. He doesn't mean to treat me like this. So, my truck has a hard life. It's like, it's bad.
I know somebody else had a hard life too.
Yeah.
But it's a work truck.
It is a work truck, and that's what it's made for, and I'm fine with that. And I do have to do a lot of preventative maintenance. But one thing you guys didn't mention, and one thing I think you'd be remiss in suggesting, one thing I do at least once a month is I run a BG, and I use the BG. It's the more expensive, but it's worth every penny. Fuel system cleaner through it, and I literally can feel the difference after that tank of gas is gone and how much better the truck runs. And so that's one thing I always do, especially someone that drives and abuses my truck the way I do, is run that fuel system cleaner through it religiously.
Jordan, I agree with you 100% there too. Just keeping the system clean and stuff, and people don't realize it how over time you just gradually build a little bit of carbon, a little bit of sludge and everything in there, and you gradually lose the power. You gradually lose the horsepower. We have people after we do the GDI oil service to us will call us back and say they jumped 2 to 3 miles a gallon just after leaving there because it's such a good job of cleaning up and getting the power back and getting the rings to seal back up. But doing the preventative side of that thing like you're doing, Jordan, will keep that so much cleaner and stuff too, and not lose that horsepower, not lose that fuel economy on a gradual basis.
Yep, I agree. So yeah, that's what I do, and I like I said, I use the BG. It's a little more expensive, but in my opinion, it is a far product.
Well, it's kind of like the BG guys say: if you go, you get what you pay for, and if you're only going to pay $1.99 for something, you're probably not going to get much out of a fuel system cleaner. That's for sure.
Probably going to get about $1.99 worth.
Yeah, exactly. So, but very true. So anyway, excited for Thursday and Going to be fun to see how many of the drivers show up and pull their rigs in here and stuff like that too. We've got a lot of prizes going to be given away, Jordan. James Furman, he's a little put his little comment up on there. He's a little upset that he can't be here. He's going to have to be at work. I think I'd be taking a long lunch hour or something, James. Tell the boss you got a doctor's appointment or got something to get out here or something from that part. It's what I'd be doing. I don't know about you.
I do. Come out and eat some free steak and shrimp and meet the stars of the best modified touring series in the country. I mean,
yeah,
your boss will understand. And if he doesn't, you probably shouldn't be working there anyway, frankly.
Yeah, probably true.
So
probably true. So
all right, well, you guys have a great Saturday. I'm pulling bushes out with a strap and with this truck I'm talking about. So just
no.
That's
abuse it more.
Let me know what you're hooking that strap to, and we'll get that part coming, okay?
and
everything around it.
It's funny because it's true. So.
Have a good day. Don't work too
Bye,
hard.
guys.
All right,
see you, Jordan.
Bye.
All right, got another caller coming, Josh. Sorry about the phone, but you got her all fixed up there. Anyway, 316-462-3673. Anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, whatever it might be, jump on the phone here and get you a great price package. So we'll get another caller coming through here in just a few seconds. And morning, Vincent. And Saturday market. That sounds like fun to me.
What do you got going on over there?
He says, Vincent, it says, good morning and heading to the Saturday market. I want you to talk about the farmer's market over there on Ridge and
21st Street, isn't it?
Ridge and 21st?
Yeah. It's in like the Cedric County something office thing, I think.
Yeah, something like that. So
extension office, maybe.
Something there. So anyway, we got Robin coming in here in just a second.
Be here with us in just a second. We'll get them patched through.
316-462-3673. You get the great price package of over $130 for each and every caller. Just for calling in, talking about anything in the automobile world, doesn't matter what it is. MH Ford Racing, the new Bronco, the new Maverick. Talk about that a little bit too, Josh, when we get done with Robin here a little bit too. So
yeah, that's going to be very exciting getting that thing in there. You know, Ford has such a lineup on SUVs. It's amazing all the different vehicles they got available out there now.
Yeah. So Robin coming, maybe. Okay. So Bob Huffman, morning, Bob.
Hey, I wonder. I meant to text him the other day and see how he was doing on after his surgery. Hope
he had some surgery. I didn't know he did. What do you have?
Shoulder surgery there.
Bob, I hope you're doing okay, buddy.
Yeah, hope everything.
Speaking about Bob, I got a car we got to go get in Hutch to Josh.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see.
Well,
must have lost Robin. So hey, Robin, if we lost you there, sorry. Call back in again. 316-462-3673, and Robin will get you back on the phone. And we're going to get Ryan patched through here in just a second. Troy Furman. Morning, Troy. How are you? So as we're getting the two callers punched through here real quick, I hope Robin's still on the phone there. Not sure. We'll see here in just a few seconds. So
there we go.
Here we go.
Good morning. You're on with Under the Hood Live. Go ahead. Good morning. You're on with Under the Hood Live. Go ahead.
I was driving. I started my car the other day, and I had steam coming out of my air conditioner, and it did it for about 20 minutes. I didn't know if that's something to be concerned about or what that could possibly be. It kind of had a little bit of a smell, but I mean, it wasn't a smoky smell.
Had steam coming out of the under hood or in the passenger compartment?
It was the air conditioner vent, so it was inside the car.
And then after that, the air conditioner wasn't working very well for you?
Not too well, no.
Yeah, so what I'm wondering, but it was actually coming from inside the cabin of the car?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. I wonder if we don't have a freon leak in that evaporator inside the car is what I'm wondering.
Okay.
But, what we would need to do is run a pressure test on that system, see what's going on there, see if you're having too much pressure build up on the AC system, and then also look for any type of leaks that you would have in the AC system. in that evaporator, or there could be a connection that's loose or leaking from that. But with it venting inside that cabin, we'd probably want to take a peek at that pretty quick.
Yeah,
So.
Josh, the other thing I was kind of wondering, could it be the evaporator's actually freezing up a little bit?
Yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to throw a diagnostic onto your package as well, and we'll get that added to you. We'll take a look at that at no charge to you and figure out just exactly what's going on with it for you. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for the call. We'll get
okay. 316-462-3673. Sorry, a little phone technical difficulties going through here. We're getting kind of patched up here a little bit. So we'll get Ryan on the phone here next from that part. So sorry about that. Everybody listen there. We'll work on that adjustment, get things going there for you too. So 316-462-3673 as we're waiting to get Ryan to patch through here for that situation. And Robin had to wait there a little bit. Sorry about that, Robin. But with her AC deal, we talk about getting $130 price package for each and every caller, but you can be like Robin too, and you can pick up a free diagnostic depending on what's going on with your car and stuff too. So
Ryan, you're on live with Under the Hood. Go ahead.
Okay, good morning, Phil. And Josh, when you see somebody trying to do something by themselves with the air conditioner, now I've got a Chevy Cruze that's blowing, it's not blowing cold, it's not blowing crisp. And so there's a lot of do-it-yourself options I saw in these outfits that squirt the Freon in it or something. Is there any reason we shouldn't do that, or
well,
easy fix, or do you recommend something else?
Yeah, so there's a lot of reasons that I recommend not to do that. Especially there's just so many things that we do different when you have professional grade equipment from that side. And so it starts out just from the recovery side of things. One, if you're just adding a little bit of refrigerant, how do you know how much to add? These systems are so specific in the amount of refrigerant that they need to have. I mean, they're down to the 1/10 of an ounce on refrigerant. And so if you're just adding a little bit, you could very easily undercharge or overcharge the AC system. If you overcharge it, you're building up higher pressures than what you need to be, and you're going to have adverse effects on the components and they're not going to last as long. If you undercharge the system, then you're not cycling that oil through the system like it needs to be to lubricate and cool the components. And so that's one of many things. The other thing that I can think of too is just having air in the system. So if you hook up gauges or you hook up one of those quick cans of refrigerant, you're going to be introducing atmospheric air into the AC system, and there's going to be moisture in that. Moisture is a really bad thing for an AC system. The other thing is there is a difference in refrigerant, in the quality of the refrigerant and how it performs. And typically, not to knock any of those manufacturers, but you're buying a cheaper refrigerant when you do that from that side of it. So that's
but I think the thing I'll add to it, Ryan, is it used to be that the on the old R12 systems, you could overcharge or undercharge, I think, a half a pound, and it'd be perfectly fine and work. Because that's when we had 3 to 4 pounds of refrigerant in these systems. Today, most cars run about 1 pound of refrigerant. So we have to be so accurate to the 1/10 of an ounce of how much Freon we're putting in these systems to make them perform correctly and everything else like that. And that takes some pretty sophisticated equipment to get the exact amount of Freon in that car today, because of the lesser amount of volume that's in that AC system.
Gotcha.
Yep. So stay away from those.
When you come in and check it out,
So you just have, yeah. Are you having poor performance, or what do you got going on?
Right. I mean, it blows, but it doesn't blow an icy cold. It doesn't blow a crisp cold. I mean, and it just keeps. It's like it's fading.
Yeah.
Every day it gets a little less. I just thought I could, wanted to hear your recommendation on just put some juice in it or take it in to see you guys and have your recommendation. You guys have the refrigerant, right?
Yeah, we do. So what we need to do, we're going to throw a diagnostic package onto your package as well, and we'll take a look at that at no charge to you and figure out just exactly what's going on and what's causing that thing to not cool as well. Especially right now, when these the temperatures that we're experiencing, but not only the temperatures but the humidity, it's the AC's job is to cool, but also get this humidity out of it. And if it's not functioning properly, a little bit of humidity makes a huge difference in temperature, or what it feels like anyways in temperature. So
gotcha. Well, I'll bring it in next week and have you guys look at it. I appreciate that.
We'll get that added onto your package and take a look at that again at no charge for you. Okay.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks, Phil.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks
for calling, buddy. All right, 316-462-3673. That's the number to dial up. Anything in your car, tires, brakes, batteries, and just anything about your car, anything in the automobile world, you get the great price package by over $130. Everyone, sorry about the little phone difficulty we're having, but that's my fault. So we'll take that up here and get that fixed, and hopefully, and not this show for sure, right, Josh? We're gonna get that fixed.
I don't know. I was going to sit here and play with some things, but then you also don't want to make it worse.
E for effort, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I'm going to bring up a thing here on the screen and show something that happened. We talked about service intervals this morning, how you kind of started this off, and this happened in our quick lane this morning. And so I'm going to bring her up over on the screen here a little bit. From Mike Sheridan, one of our quick lane managers down there, but basically had an F-150 come across a service drive for its first oil change at 15,000 miles. The truck normally pulls a loaded trailer, thinking the advisor made a mistake and was supposed to have had 5,000 on repair order. We walked out to the truck and checked. Now I don't know how to get so long of a post. I don't know how to get it back up there anymore.
Oh, to see the rest of it.
So anyway,
yeah, I don't know. Is it
probably not going to get that up there, am I?
Probably just going to have to read it, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So let's leave. I can't read it when it's not up there either.
Next one.
Okay.
There you go.
So anyway, we'll go back and finish it up. So basically, thought the advisor made a mistake and put 5,000 on instead of 15. Walked out to the truck, checked the odometer, and it had 15,000 miles on. Pulled the drain plug, and the oil was starting to deteriorate. Made a phone call to the advisor to help consult the customer and understand the importance of changing to 5,000 miles. Now let's talk about that for a little bit. 15,000 miles on an F-150, brand new, pulling a trailer, and think about how much life we've just taken out of that engine, how much wear we've put in that engine and everything else too, from that part. And I'd hate to pull that oil pan and just see how much sludge is already in the bottom of that oil pan and see what's happening there too. It's crazy, but we've taken so much life out of that motor already. There's not getting it back. That's the other thing. No matter how many times we change the oil or whatever, but I hope that we did go in and do a GDI service and sold that to that customer to help try to start cleaning that engine back up from that part. But everyone, and I'm going to throw this out there too. He's pulling a trailer. So does he need to change his oil more than 5,000 miles? Yes, he does. I mean, that shortens the life of that oil because he's working that engine so much harder and everything else too. It's the same difference with the transmission. I mean, is that putting more stress on that transmission fluid? Yeah. So his service interval is going to be totally different on that transmission too. That's the other thing we really haven't talked too much about, Josh, is the other services that we offer to help maintain these lubricants and stuff. And, way back, I'm going to say 20 years ago, but 40 years ago, cars got 80, 90,000 miles on. They're going to salvage yards. Today, 80, 90,000 miles are just now getting broke in, and just now things are getting well up, and they can go 200,000 miles. So now we've got different services we need to perform to make these things go 200,000, because the other oils that are in these engines and transmissions and power steerings and differentials and transfer cases and the all-wheel drive systems can't run without new oil. They wear out just like everything else does. From that part. So this is earlier when I was talking about these service intervals. The guy that buys an F-150 and just drives it to and from work and does these oil changes every 5,000 miles. We got this guy's pulling a loaded trailer. Service intervals are totally different, even though it's the same truck, everything else, but the service intervals are totally different, totally not even close to being the same kind of a service interval. The guy's got a new F-150 and he's pulling, who knows what he's pulling, but if he's normally pulling a load, let's say it's 5,000 pounds. That's a 2,500 mile oil change, in my opinion. I don't know how you feel. Where's your?
It definitely depends on, again, what he's pulling, the weight wise, how we're driving it, highway driving, non-highway driving, and then how often, is it hooked to the trailer all the time? Is it some of the time? But yeah, it definitely changes that interval for sure. And, you think about 5,000 miles, that is literally, I Googled it, the MapQuest or whatever, but that's from Miami, Florida to Anchorage, Alaska. If you were going to take that road trip, you wouldn't just go hop in the vehicle and
go
head out driving. You'd want to check over the tires. You'd want to make sure that, the air pressure is correct. You want to look at belts and hoses and things like that. And that's literally what you're doing between oil change intervals.
Yeah.
Is that distance. You're going that distance. Now, granted, typically you're pretty local from home, and it's just a lot of short jaunts from one to the other. But mentally, if you were going to take that road trip, you would want to check the car over.
And it is true. These cars are so much more dependable, reliable, don't break down like they used to years ago. Heck, I remember my dad, he used to carry a toolkit in his back. We carried some oil. We carried antifreeze. We carried
jumper cables.
We carried all that. Yeah, we carried all that stuff with us in case it did break down from that part. So just another thing is these service intervals are very crucial. Let a certified technician look your car over every 5,000 miles and go through the fluid levels and go through the tire pressures and rotate the tires and do the inspection of the car to make sure there's something that's starting small. You catch it now instead of waiting until it gets big from that part. But these service intervals, Josh, like you started on the first of the show, are crucial.
Yep.
And you've got to get one that matches your driving habits and does what's good for your car. And because I can promise you, two F-150s, identical trucks doing different things, do not have the same service intervals and the same things to keep it going. And just like I said earlier, remember in the beginning of the show, the manufacturer puts a minimum requirements in there to get you through the warranty period, and that's all they care about.
Yep.
After that, it's yours. So just remember, that's the minimum amount of service intervals you need to do to that vehicle to make it work. So anyway, 316-462-3673. Anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, whatever it might be, anything in the automobile world, give us a ring and we'll get you a great prize package.
Air conditioning seems to be the theme of the day today.
I don't know why. Do you have any idea why that might be?
I believe I've heard it is going to get a little bit hotter. I don't know. It wasn't hot enough yet.
Just a little bit hotter today.
Actually, I have no idea what it's supposed to do, to be honest with you, but it's one of the things you just cannot change. However, you can make sure that the air conditioning in your car is working good, and that's up to specifications on refrigerant, which is going to help. We had the caller and explain if it's lower on refrigerant, what happens there. But then if you just kind of guess at what's in it, what the effects of that is too. So yeah, those refrigerant cans, I know they sell a lot of them. But it's you're just not doing any long-term justice to your car.
Yeah, you're hurting that AC system. Just like I said, the amount of refrigerant it takes today is 1/4 of what it was before, and then to inject the air and the humidity each time you hit that connection, it's crazy. As you go through and talking about the equipment to measure that Freon, I mean, there's a lot of equipment out there to charge your AC systems, but if those scales aren't accurate and don't read down to the close to the 1/10 of a pound like ours do, you're defeating the whole purpose. And a good AC service is no different than a good oil change on your car. An AC service is, basically we hook the gauges up and we suck everything out of that thing to see just how much Freon you got. We can tell already immediately on that first deal if you've got a leak. Let's say you pull everything out and it's perfectly fine. Well, that's great. We're going to suck it down and get, if there is any humidity in the system, get that pulled out of there, then charge it back to the 1/10 of a pound. But we're going to add some oil and add some dye to that system that's going to help maintain that, just like changing the oil in your engine.
We had a call from a little earlier today from a do-it-yourselfer that would have some opinion on this, because we've done it both ways. We serviced it for him, and then he had something else, landscaping happened to the truck and it broke, and then he tried servicing it, and I don't think he got the same results, and so it's back on the books to get serviced next week. So, but it does make a difference.
And I get the guys that want to work on your cars and work on do-yourselfers and that kind of thing, and I understand that. I get that totally too. It's no different than back there thrashing on a race car last night, trying to get ready to go race tonight and everything else too. I get that side of the coin, but today there's so many things you can mess up, so many things you can do wrong without the right tools, the right equipment, and cause yourself more headache.
Yeah.
From that part. So anyway, 316-462-3673. anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, we're here to answer your questions and get you a great price package, about over $130 for each and every caller. 316-462-3673. Hey, do us another favor. Jump over on YouTube. Give us a like over there, or subscribe, I guess is what I should say. Help us out on that part, too. Love to get some more likes over there on YouTube. And also, of course, we're sitting here live on Facebook also. So
Last day of July. Can you believe it?
No.
We are already running into August. We've got the hospice giveaway coming up. I
think fair date that was again? I can't remember.
I think we decided last time, was it maybe the 16th or 19th? There was that Thursday, if I remember right. Whatever that week is. But yeah, I've got that coming up, and so excited to make another lucky winner on a car giveaway.
19th,
so.
August the 19th.
Yeah, August the 19th. So
the 16th, we will be over on KWBW Radio in Hutch. And we'll draw up the first few winners of all the packages and of all the people that have drawn. And then, of course, the night at the Prairie Dunes, we will draw the rest of the people that are there. So someone's going to walk away with a nice, lovely escape there, too, from that part. So
got that coming up. And then the other thing, what you're racing this evening? What do you got?
Headed to Salina to run the NCRA division race up there in Salina. So it's going to be fun there, too. Be rolling out of here this afternoon to go have there. And then, of course, next week the USMTS comes to town. And again, if you didn't hear earlier in the show, come out and see us 12 to 2 next Thursday. The USMTS guys, a few of them are going to roll into the dealership, and Jordan Whitehead's going to cook up some steak, some chicken, some shrimp and stuff, feed everybody, give a few tours, and then Lisa's giving away some prizes. And I already know some of the prizes she's got dialed up there ready to go to give away. So come out and join us and have fun. It'll be a great time for racing at 81 Speedway Thursday. They're going to be at Humboldt Friday, and then we'll be at Lucas Oil Speedway on Saturday. So lots of fun and stuff too. I guess I should have our drag strip schedule going too, because I know Nick and the guys are headed.
Nick is going to be going next. I'm pretty sure it's next weekend out to KID. I'm not sure what the event was that they had out there, but we were discussing trucks and trailers and what needed to go where. But he needed one to go to one of the events, and I just don't remember what
I can't keep
was, so
maybe we can get one of the Nicks to call in here and see if I can get Nick to call in and tell us about the Nick schedule.
See what he's got to say about that. We were sitting there and August is going to be boom, boom, boom right after another on that side of things for the racing side of it. So that's excited. This Bronco, I just cannot wait there. So we'll get it in here. And again, that's the first one you have coming in is a courtesy transportation unit.
Silver 4-door. So that's going to be fun to see that thing get here. Like I said, vehicle visibility says today, but somehow I just don't think it's going to make it today. Another thing is too, Josh, Tuesday, we're headed back out to KID. We're going to do the next run of the Mustang.
Yeah.
We kind of got a little lull in between there because our shop is so busy and getting that Mustang into the shop and getting all the suspension components are on it now. So we're going to see what that does and see if it handles any different or whatever. I'm not expecting too big of a horsepower gain or time gains or anything on this run, because most of the suspension and everything are really going underneath that car to help set up for when the turbo was next.
Yeah.
So that is our next step, is putting the turbo on the car. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So anyway, some exciting things on the Mustang. So we'll be back out at KID on Tuesday and have our episode number 4 of the Finding the Horsepower. Mel Hambelton finds horsepower. How was the title that again? Should know that too, right, Josh?
On the hunt for horsepower.
Hunt for horsepower, yeah.
Hunt for horsepower or something like that, I believe.
So stay tuned on those videos too. It's going to be fun and exciting to see what that thing does once we throw that turbo on top of that too. So
what I will say is just the stance of that car looks really cool. I got to be honest.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's fun to drive. It's going to be fun and exciting to see how much faster it goes with that turbo from that part and from that standpoint too.
I've not drove it yet with the suspension components on it. I was just wondering how it rode.
I haven't drove it either, Josh. We need to go probably. Have to sneak it out the back door and go take it for a little spin.
Take it for a spin and see what it's got.
And see what happens too. So, okay, Nick Roberts is going to call in. We're going to go over the drag race schedule here shortly. He just texted me back, so we'll get that up to we're headed with the Hoosier trailers and all that stuff too. There's a lot of exciting drag races coming around and for that part. So 316-462-3673. Hey, dial up anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries. Nick Roberts will be on the line here shortly. We'll go over the drag race schedule for the next couple of weeks where we're headed. and all that good, exciting stuff. I think we're headed all over from Topeka to Denver to Great Bend and all over every place we're going with the drag rig stuff. So we'll get Nick on the phone here and talk about what's happening on the drag stripe side. Also, so got the phone fixed, Josh?
Yeah, so I think I'm pretty confident. I just switched sources over here. So pretty confident on that deal. In fact, I was wondering about just calling him, but not sure what where he's at in the.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, he did respond. So if you want to call him, I'd call him up.
We're calling him.
Call him up. Get him on the phone.
316.
Okay, we're going to get Nick Roberts from our drag race side at MH Ford Racing and go over everything we're doing in the drag race side here. Just a few seconds, and here it comes in the phone call.
Hello?
Nick, it's Phil and Josh.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good, buddy. Hey, we're sitting here going through everything. We're talking about our USMTS thing for next week, and we looked at each other like, oh, what's going on in the drag side? Well, let's find out from Nick. So, Nick, I know we got a lot of things coming in MH Ford Racing and the Great Plains of Hoosier, where we're headed with the trailers and all that kind of stuff. So, can you run us through the schedule for the next week or two, where all the trailers are going and where we're going to be headed for the drag race side?
Yep. So next week we will leave Wednesday to head to Great Bend, Kansas for NHRA divisional there. And then the week after that.
When you say divisional, help our listeners understand what that means. And like what kind of cars will be there? Are they qualifying for something there? What's happening?
So with the divisional, it's all of the local bracket racers in Division 4, which is, I believe, like Great Bend, Pueblo, a lot of guys from Kearney, some Wichita guys race. Whoever decides to race in that division and use, Great Bend or Kearney or like Pueblo, a few of these other tracks as their home track, they will all get together, and it's a points race, and they all try to obtain more points and stuff to be able to go to the ET finals in September in Topeka. Okay. And then you can represent your division at ET finals.
So it is a qualifier kind of a deal to go to Topeka.
Yep.
And so what kind of a car count are they expecting there in Great Bend? You usually get kind of a idea what usually shows up?
Usually in Great Bend, they'll have 300 to 400 cars. It's usually a pretty big deal. They'll pack the house for it.
Cool. So that's next Wednesday, you said, correct?
Yep. Starting we'll get down there. We'll get set up on Wednesday. Thursday, they'll start the test and tune portion of it, and then they go into the race Friday morning. So when will it end? Saturday? Yep, Saturday night.
So some fun racing if everybody wants to go see some good drag races at Great Bend next Friday, Saturday, correct?
Yep.
All right, so that's next week. So what's the following week after that?
Topeka has the Menards NHRA Nationals.
Okay.
So they have top alcohol, top dragster. I believe I got the nitro cars coming back. So that one's a big deal with all your NHRA series racers. So your big boys are there. You'll have a lot of locals there. Just a good time. 300-mile-an-hour dragsters. I mean, it's a cool event.
So that's the following week. So what days would someone want to go watch the drags in Topeka in 2 weeks? Would that be a Friday, Saturday thing too?
That one runs from Thursday. Testing's Wednesday, and then Thursday they go into eliminations, and then they will run that all the way till Sunday will be the final rounds of eliminations.
So there's going to be a few cars there then, is what you're trying to say. They got that many days to get through eliminations, right?
Yep. I had heard rumors from one of the guys in Topeka. They're expecting 700+ cars.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a lot of cars.
Hey, speaking of Topeka, was the NHRA guys that ever come to Topeka this year, or are they not? Or I never did hear. Or did they come and gone already?
The who?
The top NHRA guys.
Yeah, well, that will be this weekend.
That's this weekend they're there.
Or next. I'm sorry, the weekend we're talking about next week.
That's when the big boys are all there. Okay.
Yep. Like that was so when we went to Denver a few weeks ago. That was their rotation for Denver, and those same guys will now be in Topeka in 2 weeks.
So this is where John Force and his daughters
Yep.
and all that will be there running and everything. That's in the following week. And I'm going to tell you, if some of you have never seen those top cars run or felt that or heard that or whatever, you got to go to Topeka. I'm telling you, it is so much of a thrill in the noise it puts out and the thunder it puts on the ground and the thumping in
Like
your
it just
chest.
shakes your feet, the stands, the whole deal.
Okay, so that's the following week in Topeka, and really probably Friday, Saturday. It's Sunday too, you said, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I used to, when I lived in Topeka, and Pontiac was heavily involved with those races and stuff. I had some pretty cool pit passes. I mean, I could pull right in the pits, park wherever I wanted, all that kind of stuff, and hang out with all the Pontiac guys and stuff. It was really cool. We had those guys on our showroom floor the week before, 3 days before and stuff. But if you've not been to a national event of an NHRA and not seen those funny cars and those dragsters go down the track at 300, you got to go. I'm telling you, it is something else. I might have to cancel a dirt track race to go watch that. Jake probably killed me. But
yeah, what I enjoy is you go walking around the pits because, I mean, they're taking them apart almost every pass. And then you see these group of people just gather around, watch them as they assemble it, and then they fire that thing up. And man, you can just watch this crowd
because I
disperse.
The way that nitro smells and everything else. Isn't it? I don't remember now too, Nick. Isn't they got 90 minutes to tear that engine apart, put it back together, and be ready to go again, right?
Yeah, it's usually an hour schedule. So they push them pretty good. Denver, being the altitude and stuff, they gave them a little more time, but usually they run them pretty quick. I know there was a few of the guys there a couple weeks ago in Topeka when I was there, and they were running them through pretty fast. So usually an hour and a half, and they were back to the lane to make another pass.
Yeah, and that is what's fun about the NHRA stuff. You can go watch them run. Then everybody goes to the pitch. You get in there and watch those guys yank those things apart. You see them fire them, like you said, fire them up, and they're running. Everybody's running them because of the fumes and the smells burning your eyes and your nose and everything else too. And but it's a fun time. So if you've not been to a national event, Topeka is where you need to go. Sunday, to me, if you need to pick a day, Saturday or Sunday would be the day to go. But Sunday would be the ultimate. That's when the final eliminations and all those guys are. So that's going to be fun. I'll have to see if I've got a dirt track schedule or not on there too. So anyway, Nick, thanks for getting on the show with us and updating us on everything in there. So basically, let's go through. You're going to be headed to Great Bend this week, and then the following week you're headed to Topeka.
Correct.
All right, everybody. Nick, thanks for taking the time to call us in and getting us updated on what's happening in the drag world with MH Ford Racing. Have a good day, Nick.
No problem.
Thanks, buddy.
You too. Bye.
All right, just a few minutes left. 316-462-3673. Get a great price package and everything else too. But yeah, Josh, I know you've been there and I've been there. It's been a while since I've been to a national event. But if you've not been to one of those national events, you got to go. It is so much fun. And it's just a blast to be watching those cars blow up and down that track and everything else too.
The other thing that really blew me away too was at the end of the race, you could go out on the track and man, just like literally it would pull your shoe off in that, in the start line of the thing is just how sticky that track was. And I wasn't expecting that at all.
Yeah. So. Well, back in it'd been late 80s, early 90s when I was up there in Topeka and stuff, and I could go right down there by the start line and stand between the two cars. And I mean, I would lean as hard as I could lean forward as they would launch off that line. It would just blow me backwards from that part. So, and then I had chances to go up on the suites up on top and stand up top and watch down to below there. I mean, just still even clear up there, that's still thumping your chest, the ground's thumping. It's an amazing time. And see, back then in the late 80s and early 90s, they were only putting out like, I think 8,000 horsepower. I think today they're out there at 13 or 14,000 horsepower. They're putting out of these motors and stuff too. Because
I would like the opportunity just one time to prove that I would not pee my pants when I fully accelerated that thing.
They do have that throttle eliminator on the burnout. Yeah. Just let me do that. Yeah. That's all I want. Just one time. Just let me just try that little bit of a burnout and see what I could do with that thing. It'd be so much fun from that part. So anyway, we just got a few minutes left on the show. Probably take one more caller if you want to call in real quick and get a great price package. But Josh, just kind of recap everything, what's happening. Again, we just hung up with Nick Roberts from MH Ford Racing on the drag side, where he's headed to Great Bend this week for the divisional and then headed to the national event on Topeka the following week. So MH Ford Racing and Great Plains of Hoosier will be there in forces to help you with your racing needs from all that standpoint too. So tonight, Jake and I are headed to Salina to the NCRA thing. It starts in Salina. Races start at 7:30. Be some fun time down there too.
It's been a little while. Been a week or two, or has it been 2 weeks?
2 weeks since we been raced at.
Man.
Yeah, I know. Since we raced at the fairgrounds, so
ready to get back behind the seat of that thing and get going. I'm sure Jake's fired up about that for sure.
Oh yeah, yep. We are ready to go. We thrashed on the car pretty late last night and stuff too. It never fails. You're always the last minute trying to get stuff ready.
Yeah, understand that. So headed to do that. We got the Broncos going to be here very, 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 very soon.
Yep, exactly. Maybe we'll show up today, but I don't think so. I'm just knowing I got that vibe. It's not going to show up. I'm going to check vehicle visibility one more time this morning. We hang up here, Josh, see what we got there too. Thursday, 12 to 2, come out and check out the USMTS guys will be here. Hopefully a bunch of those guys can show up. Jordan will be feeding everybody. Lunch will be served. Great prizes given away. Lisa's got some great prizes coming up. So be out here 12 to 2 as the USMTS guys are here. You can take a tour of our facilities, look at the rigs, all that kind of good stuff, and everything else too. And James Furman, hey, you have a good weekend too. Thanks very much. And, Josh, we haven't talked a lot about our sponsors. Like we get out of the groove and everything else like that too. But BG Products, a great partnership we have with those guys. And I did a phone call with them with some other things earlier this week, talking about where the industry is going, what's happening. And a lot of it was doing with the aftermarket parts world and all that kind of stuff too. I had a great conversation with those guys. Can't thank BG enough for everything they do for us and everything else. And love giving them our used cars to go out and do all their testing and everything with it and stuff too, from that standpoint. So I will promise you, if you buy a BG product, what you buy will be great. And they've got a product for about every fluid level in your vehicle and every kind of maintenance there is to help maintain your car great. Big Corner Creative, all your advertising needs. If you've got a company that needs a web page or you need some window wraps, window tints, vehicle wraps, race car wraps, anything in your advertising world, they're there to help you. Windows tinted, everything else. As those guys say, just Google us. And then go to rent. And, right now our rental fleet is really low because of all the craziness we're having in this world of inventories and everything else too. So, but get your name in line and quickly. If you need a rental car with Stan over in our go to rent division, we're down, he's usually got over 120 some cars over there, and we're down in the 70 range. So get yourself in line. If you got something still to go for vacation, you need a 12 or 15 passenger van, give Stan a call right inside here at Mel Hambelton Ford at Go To Rent. So anyway, Josh, I think it's a wrap.
We'll talk to you next Saturday.
Everybody have a great weekend.